Hi everyone. This is an absolutely impromptu Facebook Live. I've been meaning to do so, to hop online and to give you a bit of insights about what's going on the market post COVID, or while we're still in the COVID crisis, dealing with the aftermath of the impact that COVID has had on the job search market. So I want to bring you a bit of hope, bring you a bit of strategy, support you further. I've seen from my calendar that job searching is on the mind of a lot of people at the moment, that a lot of people are reaching out to get a bit more tools because the market is challenging. There's been a lot of layoffs, so it's crowded, it's competitive. Now, the good news that I have for you, and the reason why I'm jumping online today like this, impromptu, is to give you a bit of background information about what is going on actually in the market. So you've probably seen it. I've organized a webinar recently on the job search market after COVID, so trying to provide strategies to help you get traction in this crowded and competitive market. So I wanted to give a bit more information on this and introduce a bit like the various resources and tools I have available to help you out. So first things first, the first comment that I hear when First comment I hear from job searchers generally when they come and contact me is that they've been job searching, sending dozens of resumes, applying online and not getting any traction, not getting any invitation for interviews, or even worse, actually getting automatic rejections, right? So if you're struggling with this, let me reassure you, first of all, you're not the only one, and it doesn't have anything to do with your profile specifically. It has a lot to do, in fact, not even with COVID. And this is where I really want to bring your attention, is that the market, the job search market dynamics had already changed. They already made job searching extremely difficult. Why? This is a result of the increasing popularity of platforms such as LinkedIn. Why? Because when jobs are posted on LinkedIn, it's bringing a really high traffic of application. Already 3 years ago, LinkedIn was reporting that for every open position, there's an average of 250 application. Now, this is only through LinkedIn. Most of the time, companies will cross-post on a couple of different platforms on their website as well. So you can imagine that the real number is probably a bit higher, or even considerably higher than that. And this is from three years ago already. So basically, nowadays, after COVID, with a lot of people who have lost their job, the numbers have just skyrocketed. And what has happened is that companies have changed the way they do recruitment. Why? Because managing so many applications is extremely challenging. So what's going on now is that companies are basically using different software. So if you don't know about it, there's something called the applicant tracking system, which is basically a platform to manage resumes. So there are ways that you need to configure, to basically build your resume so that it can be read, so that the proper information can be extracted by the ATS. Else you run the risk, for example, to have an automatic rejection because your resume cannot be read. Some formats are not read, and also when there are different types of job requirements, then the ATS needs to be able to go and retrieve that information from your resume. So that's challenge number one. The other thing that is happening also is that, you can imagine that sorting through like hundreds of resumes is a lot of work for companies. So what companies are doing is that they're shifting to more direct means of recruitment. So they recruit through headhunters, to recruiters. HR staff are also increasingly going proactively searching for candidates. So this means that if you want to be searchable because companies are proactively searching, then you also need to make sure that you have an optimized LinkedIn profile and LinkedIn presence, right? So the common misconception is that you can just keyword optimize your LinkedIn profile and that from there you will be searchable. Yes, you could appear in the search result, but what this people who qualify and appear in the search results is that having a keyword optimized profile will list you in the search result, but it doesn't say where you will list in the results, right? So LinkedIn, in how you approach LinkedIn, this is something that I often notice, is that a lot of people focus on optimizing their profile, but not on boosting their visibility. So they don't take into consideration the algorithm, everything that they do, how they're connected to different people, so which in turn impacts how you rank in the search result and how visible you are for headhunters, recruiters, etc. So there are all different considerations. Another thing that is happening at the moment is that is a bit twofold. This one is not just a result of LinkedIn, but a direct result of the COVID crisis, is that companies are increasingly risk averse, considering the uncertainty of the market, and increasingly focused on different type of skills that are required to operate, to perform well in uncertain times like the times that we're going through at the moment. So think about change leadership, about the autonomy to be resourceful, problem solving, etc. Right? So if you're in a changing market, companies are revisiting their strategy. They need employees who are flexible, who are resourceful, who are adaptable, who respond well to change, who can lead teams through change, who can show different types of soft skills. And the fact that companies are more risk averse, combined with the fact that they have a stronger focus on soft skills, means that at the end of the day, companies tend to turn more towards their actual network to recruit. Why? Because it's easier to vouch for someone's soft skills when you go through your network, because people come in, generally they know people in the company, they come in with recommendations, etc. And also, if you're risk averse, going through the network is an additional kind of reassurance that you're recruiting the right people, soft skills wise, in terms of how they will fit in the company, etc. Right? And when companies turn to their internal network, this means for you as a job hunter that there is more and more jobs out there that will belong to what is called the hidden job market. Those are the jobs that are actually filled without being posted online. Typically, this used to represent 60 to 80% of the job opportunities. It looks like a high number, but if you do the exercise of looking at how you got to your different job, if you do the exercise with other people around, it totally squares, right? And then this number is likely to also increase. So what's going on the market is that you have jobs out there which are where you have an increasingly high number of applicants. So all the LinkedIn posted job, you have a lot of competition because there's a lot of job hunters out there. So tapping into that market, applying through LinkedIn in today's job market is just not working, right? You can eventually land a job like this, but that might be as quickly as winning a lottery ticket, right? So basically, you need, in order to succeed in today's market, you need to understand what's going on in the market. You need to understand how the job search market dynamics are changing, and you need to pivot your job search, if only for showing how adaptable you are to the new market dynamic, because this is in itself, it's a soft skill that you want to put forward, because it's a soft skill that companies are looking for at the moment, right? So my message to you at the moment is really pause for a moment in your job search. If what you're doing, if what you have been doing up until now is actually not working, the chances of this working in the future as the market becomes increasingly competitive, as there are more and more people job hunting, you're not going to get different results, right? It's only going to get more difficult, right? So now is the time to stop. Now is the time to look at how you approach your job search, at understanding the market dynamic, understanding how to adapt your resume to screen through the ATS, how to not only optimize your profile on LinkedIn, but also how you use the platform to increase your visibility, to substantiate, to support, and to establish yourself in your field of expertise, etc. Also, when you have competitive markets like this, what happens is, in the face of say 250 candidates, it's no longer sufficient just to qualify for a job, because you're going to have, out of those hundreds of candidates, plenty of other people who will also qualify. And this is where the element of personal branding becomes absolutely critical. I say it often, is that the personal branding is actually the foundation of your job search. And personal branding, in very short, is about being able to articulate what you bring to the table. Not just the fact that you're qualified, but what is different about you and how this is bringing value to a company in the specific role that you're applying for, right? So this is about putting your cards on the table. It's about being able to show a company, to tell a company why you, out of those hundreds of candidates, why should the company pay attention to you? And without having a solid brand, nothing else in your job search will perform as it should. The personal brand is where the magic happens. This is what allows you at every step of your job search, whether it's someone's first glance at your resume, someone's first glance at your LinkedIn profile, when you have an informal interview or a formal interview. This allows you to present yourself effectively. And as we're talking about the hidden job search market, the hidden job market, sorry, one way to tap into the only actually way to tap into the hidden job market is through networking. And a lot of people struggle to get response when they network, especially at the moment, because you have a lot of people networking for their job search. The problem is often also coming down to branding, because if you don't create a wow factor in the people that you're reaching out to, if you don't convince them that you have something to offer to their company or that you have something special, then they are unlikely to invest time in you. So you need to make that kind of wow impression, whether you're approaching someone to like a new connection for help with your job search, or whether you're in an interview or your CV, etc. Right? So my number one recommendation, whatever you do, is to really sit down and revisit your branding. Okay, this is the most important thing that you can do in your job search. And then once you're clear about what you bring to the table, it's about learning to roll it out in your CV, in your LinkedIn, in how you present yourself, in your networking, in interviews, etc. Now, this might all sound easier than it actually, easier said than done. And this brings me to the next topic that I want to bring to your attention. So I do have resources to help you out with this. I have an ebook which summarizes the information that was presented at a webinar on landing a job in the aftermath of the COVID crisis. So I will put a link in the comment of the video. So if you want to have to know a bit more about how the market has changed, what is going on post-COVID, how you can react, etc., I highly suggest having a look at this this document. Also, and even more interestingly for you, I have launched this week, I've talked a bit about it, but it's been so busy with everyone job searching that I haven't really had the chance to kind of present what's going on at the moment. So I've launched a new cohort of what I now call the Job Search MBA. So it's basically a complete program, a complete job search program. Normally it's an online course that's available on my platform, so it's a self-service course basically. But considering what's going on with COVID, considering the extra challenge, I decided to run it live again. So I did it back in April. It was a huge success. And I'm doing it again at the moment. So we just started. So it's actually not too late if you want to hop on. So basically the advantage of doing this is that as we run it live, so we walk through every single step of the job search process, okay? From setting your direction and strategy to the brainstorm, to the personal, developing your personal brand, rolling it out in the CV on LinkedIn, learning how to use LinkedIn. We work on mindset, we work on interview preparation, we work on a whole bunch of innovative ideas to also boost your visibility, to open doors into companies. I have a special module as well on networking. So we all know that networking is super important for job searching. The question I always get is, how do I do it? So in the networking module, namely, you get every single thing. Like I have this very structured approach with different channels. And you get amongst the tools templates, like email templates to reach out to people, how to conduct basically an informal interviews, suggestions like conversation suggestions for informal interviews, for your networking conversations, etc. So you have every single thing. You even have scripts for calling recruiters. Okay, so you have everything you need in there. We also cover the job interview, the salary negotiation, every single thing. That's why it's called the Job Search MBA. It's an all-rounder. And then the advantage of this is that as I run it live, I adapt, I give you real life insights into, okay, how do you need to adapt in light of COVID? How has COVID impacted community? So we meet every week for a workshop. You have time to ask your questions, you get support as you implement it, etc. So this goes a long way in making the job search a bit less lonely. It gives you resources when you get stuck, when you struggle. We can help you troubleshoot, etc. So mindset and motivation wise, just this is going to give you a huge plus. And of course, from the feedback I see, those are the strategies that I know they work. I've been following dozens, if not hundreds, of job hunters since the beginning of the crisis, and I see the kind of results that they get. I see that once they shift their mindset, when they're able to put their brand forward, when they understand how, once they nail down the brand, like the boost in confidence that it gives them, and how people react to that when they network, etc. So I know those strategies work because I've been using it with people even in those challenging times, and they have been landing jobs despite what we might all think. It's been I've seen traction like never before, actually. So I reassure you, there are jobs out there. You can land a job. So basically, I wanted to touch base quickly just to tell you about this program. It's still open for enrollment. It will be until the end of next week. So what we've had so far today, we got started with the first module, which was basically on direction and job search strategy. You can still catch up if you join and you've missed the first module. It's not a problem because all the modules have recordings, so you can have access to it. Basically, we close the enrollment Friday next week, when we have the second workshop of the program. So it's 10 weeks live, 10 workshops that are like theory, like the different steps of the job search. And what I've done is to follow and support for a longer period of time as the group implements the strategies, that we have masterminds which will follow the workshops. So for 4 additional weeks, we'll reconvene every 2 weeks, so that the participants can ask their questions, etc. Right? So so basically the enrollment closes next Friday, so February 19th. And if you enroll by then, you basically have the chance to catch, to get on board before the second workshop, which is where the magic happens. So it's on personal branding. So in that workshop, you also have access to the new branding power pack, which are step-by-step documents, to ebooks and guidebooks to help you develop your own brand and import it in your resume in a super impactful way. And what I've done, the other thing I've done is that in order really to try to support job hunters as much as I can, when you register for the Job Search MBA, you actually get a bonus, which is that you get access to literally all the job search courses on my online platform. So it's a huge value. You have across this every possible tool you can need for your job search, from resume templates to cover letter templates to ebooks, workbooks to help you brainstorm. As I said, email templates, every single thing you need. So what I will do is I will post the link if you're interested in having a look at it, if you'd like to join us. And I will also leave my email in the comments. So if you have further questions, then you can, of course, email me, or we can get on a quick call, and then I will answer all your questions. One question that comes very often is actually maybe one that I should clarify at the moment, is regarding the schedule of the workshop. So what I do in order to accommodate as many people as possible is that I rotate. So we always have the workshops on a different day at a different time. We have a special focus on accommodating those who may actually be working at the moment. So we have some workshops in the morning, so some at 8, some around lunchtime, some in the evening, and then some during the day, right? So that the maximum of people can join. And then, as I mentioned, also all the workshops are recorded, so you can always watch the replay. And for those who question, okay, what if I jump on the program and then in 2 weeks I get a job interview, but we're not yet at the module on job interview, then you have access to the replays, to the replays of the workshop on job interviewing. So you can of course always join the live. So we go through the program step by step together as a group, but you can also kind of hop around between the different module based on your specific needs. So this is my my special program of this year, as I saw that really many people are job searching. So I thought, okay, how can I best help? How can I help you? I help motivate you, give you new ideas, give you new concrete step-by-step tools to really help you pivot your job search. And really, this is the key. The market is not going to become easier. Even if the crisis resorbs in a way, as we see new vaccinations coming in and stuff, the economical impact on the job market is likely to linger for some time. So the sooner you adapt your strategies, the sooner you equip yourself with your brand, for example, to stand out, the better your chances of landing a job. And as I always say, don't wait until you're exhausted, you're demotivated, your self-confidence is like flat down to basically try something new. If it hasn't worked so far, the chances in this current market that what you're currently doing will give you different results, will give you traction. If you're not aware of what's going on, if you're not specifically using strategies to stand out in crowded and competitive markets like this, you really need extra tools, extra strategy. But then when you implement those, from my experience, you will see different results. So get in touch, have a look at the links in the comments, and if you have questions, please, of course, feel free to message me, and always happy to get on a call to answer your questions. So I wish you a beautiful day. For those of you who are on school break, I hope that you're enjoying this time, and I'm available. If you have questions, just reach out, and I welcome and look forward to having some of you who may want to join us for the most recent cohort of the Job Search MBA.